Well, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It's Monday night. It is 7:30. Welcome to the Leicester City Fan Zone show with myself, Phil. We're live every single Monday. Loads and loads to talk about tonight. Obviously, we can chat about yesterday. Do you want to talk about VAR? Do you want to talk about Arsenal 2-0, or do you want to look forward to Rennes on Thursday? I think I know which I'd rather do, but we've got to pick the bones out of yesterday's defeat in tonight's Fan Zone show. Get your views in, get your comments in. Let me know what you want to talk about, and we'll do it right here in the next 30 minutes.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, welcome to tonight's Leicester Fan Zone show. Get your views in, get your comments. Welcome, follow us wherever you are at Leicester Fan TV. We can get comments on screens as much as possible. Good evening to Matty Bond. Hope you're well. What did you think to yesterday's game? Good evening, Karen. Keith, good evening. Maz as well. Hello to you. Richie, hope you're well. Nick Moore, loads of hellos. Auntie Karen is here as well. Good evening. Hope you're well. Get your views in. Let us know what you think about yesterday's game. Obviously, 2-0 away at Arsenal. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and we are even on TikTok tonight. Yes, we are live on TikTok for a bit. So get your views in, get your comments in. Let me know what you thought to yesterday's game. Andy, boom, straight in there, says, evening. Bad team selection, bad tactics, negative subs. Where do you want to start with Andy's take on yesterday's game? Listen, Andy, for me, it is all about Rennes on Thursday. I said that last week, and that's what I think yesterday was all about. I feel like we could have had a go yesterday. We really could have had a go, but Craig, come on. Craig says Brendan out. I can't believe that, Craig. You can't be doing that. Matty says, didn't even get upset about yesterday. It was such a non-event. We offered nothing and deserved nothing. It was flat. It was flat, Matty, yesterday. It really was flat. So don't forget, keep getting your views in, get your comments in. We can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about in tonight's show. So let's get on to the next comment. It's Arsenal, says Keith. Can't really complain. No plan. Andy, you see, Andy's straight in there. That was my frustration from yesterday. What the subs, Andy mentioned the subs earlier. And he's talking again about no plan B in there. But it does seem, it is a frustrating repeat yesterday. I want to talk about the subs a little bit yesterday. I know we got an eye on Rennes on Thursday, but I do want to talk about the subs yesterday, and I want your views on it. He brought on James Justin for Ricardo Pereira. Well, that's just like-for-like change. He brought on Daka for Nacho, that's just like for like. Bought on Ndidi for Mendy. He didn't do anything in the tactics yesterday that changed the game. It was just a non-plus game in there. Nick says, pathetic performance yesterday. Gutted for the fans that travelled and shelled out the money in there. Bazza, good evening. Hope you're well. Get your views in. Karen says, I think we're focusing more on the Conference League than Premier League. I think so, but I am frustrated when we do substitutions like yesterday, because at no point did we try and affect the game in those substitutions. Clear and obvious error, took 5 minutes, laughable. Patrick, you're talking about the VAR there. I happen to think VAR got it right yesterday, and in the end it was a penalty. What do you think, Patrick? Do you think it wasn't a penalty? Let me know on that. Bazza says there's no plan A, B, C, D, E, or F, or G. Bazza, I'm gonna disagree with you there, mate, because there is a plan A, and at times that plan A works very, very well. And I get it that you have a plan A, and that is the main thing that you do. But I do also think that you need a plan B at times and a plan C. That isn't that being a manager? Isn't that being a tactician? Or is it just we have a plan and that's how it goes? Patrick says, as Nightfall Estate, Rodgers always makes subs on 60 minutes. Yes, he does. He absolutely does. Michael says it just goes to show how gutted we are with injuries. I'm not sure on that. I think, Michael, we've got we've got players coming back, if I'm honest. Keep getting your views in. Let us know what you think on there. Look, Mantos on TikTok says it was a sad loss to Arsenal, but could we expect any more? So thanks if you're watching on TikTok for the first time live tonight, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Get your views in, get your comments in. Brian is saying the penalty should have been retaken. Why, Brian? Let me know. Why? Let me know. Was that because Casper was 3 yards off his line, or there was somebody? Again, I think we're scratching. If I'm honest, Brian, I think we're scratching for excuses there. Rob says, "How long have we got Vardy for?" Did we rush him back, Rob? I said before the game, don't start Vardy. I'm glad we didn't start Fofana yesterday. I think we've got to be careful with these players coming back. Craig saying, no matter what we do, there's always going to be a massive gap between the top four and us. Well, Craig, I'm going to disagree, Craig, slightly. Last year, we were top four all season and fell out. We were top four last season. The season before, we were top four all season till the last half an hour of the game. Last year, it was the last 14 minutes of the season we were top four. So we should be up there. We should be up there. Karen says here, my view on VAR is if you can't ref without the use of a machine, don't ref. VAR did get it right, though, Karen, in the end, don't you think? VAR got it right. Let me know your thoughts on that. On TikTok, our defending from a corner needs to be sorted out. That is from Ooga Booga. What a name on TikTok. Our defending from corners. Who wants to talk about defending on corners? The guys on TikTok want to talk about that. I do as well. Worst defending in the league from free kicks and set pieces and corners. Sort it out. Isn't that what your defensive coach does? Again, another one yesterday where it's pretty basic stuff. Yesterday's goal from their corner. It's pretty basic stuff, if you ask me, because Luke Thomas loses his man completely, doesn't tracks too far. And then Ricardo Pereira, you're on the post. Stay on the post. I'm not being funny. Again, it's fairly low-level football tactics. I'm putting you on the post. Stay on the post. In the end, Ricardo Pereira ends up in no man's land. You guys would say Ricardo Pereira's worth what? 30, 40, 50 million pounds. Learn to stand on your post, mate. That's what you're there to defend. Ross says, correct decision on the penalty. I agree, Ross. Me and Elijah both agreed on the watch along yesterday. Yeah, it's a penalty. It took 5 minutes because they had to get the right angle. But when you get the right angle, VAR steps in for once and goes, sorry, guys, it hits his hand. His hand's in a funny place. What's Sonku doing with his hand up there? Hiya. Put it down, mate. Penalty should have been retaken, says Brian. Don't agree with that. My view on VAR, says Karen, if you can't, we've had that one. Sachin says, defo a penalty, but that's not the point. It was not clear and obvious. The fact it took 5 minutes to prove it. Sachin, I just think it took them 5 minutes to find the right angle. And once you find the right angle, you go, yep, it's a penalty. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this. Was it a penalty or was it not a penalty? Liam Chase on TikTok is saying Saka was in the penalty box when the penalty was taken. Shouldn't that be retaken? Maybe, to be fair. Maybe it is true that it should have been retaken. But again, I feel like we're scratching yesterday. John saying the fans were great yesterday. I know Jake and Reedy and Matt were down there for Leicester Fan TV. They said it was a really good atmosphere in the ground, which was good to be in there. Jeff saying little Wes will make a huge difference when he's back. For me, let's not rush him back, Jeff. I wouldn't rush him back. Would you play if little Wes is available for Thursday at Rennes? I want your views. I want your comments. Would you, Jeff, would anybody play Little Wes? If you would play Little Wes, say in the comments, say, yes, I would play him. And if you wouldn't, like me, I wouldn't start him. I think generally Soyuncu and Amati have got a bit of an understanding. I'd keep those two together. Andy says, what defender are we on about in there? Gray, again, Gray, hope you well. I've not forgot your photo, Gray. Don't panic, mate. He says Peno should have been took care of. He's agreeing with the guys on TikTok there. Brian is saying before the ball was kicked off the penalty spot, Arsenal were in the box making their run. Michael saying enough with the talk about set piece defense. It's going to happen. Michael, you are Mr. Swag all the way out there in Seattle, USA. By the way, if you're far-flung fox watching wherever you're watching, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you're watching tonight, let us know. Are you further away than Michael, who is out in Seattle? Michael says, enough about the set pieces. Michael, we've got to sort them. Honestly, you're you're from America. It's all about set plays over there. That's what we should be practicing. I'm sure we do, but if we are practicing set plays, how come we are so bad about them? Big comment here from Jason on Facebook says, the problem I have is this. Right, bear with. He says, I keep hearing missing players. How many times do we have to allow this to be the excuse? Answer this. Newcastle playing great. Why is this? It's because they're playing as a team and wanting to win. Their so-called missing players is a cop-out. I'm sort of with you, Jason, as well, to be fair. I think there's a lot of teams got a lot of players out. Let's not keep using it as an excuse. A lot of our players are back now. You are going to get injuries. That's why you have a squad, isn't it? Tripe and Onions on YouTube saying, need a junior school teacher to show them how to defend. Tripe and Onions is bang on. I'm not being funny. I am not being funny. He says a junior school teacher to show kids how to defend set pieces. At junior school, you are taught. We're back to basics. Brendan started the season. This is what gets me. And this is what shows you that they are practicing, because we started the season by not putting any defenders on any posts and we were playing zonal. Didn't work. We now put players on posts and we're trying to mark players. It's not working. It is like Tripe and Onions has said there. Nick says, we've been talking about set piece defending all season. We can't seem to grasp the basics. I agree. But it cost us a goal yesterday. We're 1-0 in. 1-0. The penalty is the penalty. Sonku, silly hand up. It's a penalty, if you ask me. But the first one, it's a corner. Defender corners. I think we've let in 15 goals this season from set plays and corners. We are certainly at the bottom of the league table. Anybody who says there isn't a problem at Leicester just needs to look at what is the table of goals conceded from set pieces. I'm reading somebody else's comments there. Dave says he's disappointed in the result again against Arsenal in there. Liam again on TikTok is saying Sonku is only good with Evans, in my opinion. All right, that's Liam. Well, I'm going to say, I think out of Amati and Sonku, here's a question for you. I know I want to ask you about Little Wes. Would you play Little Wes or not? But I'm going to go on from what Liam has said on TikTok there to the next level is, if Fofana is back, and when he's back, thank goodness he's going to be back, who do you drop? It's a simple question. Do you drop Sonku or do you drop Amati? Because I'm going to tell you, I'd drop Sonku and I'd keep Amati in there with Little Wes. That's my view. Don't matter what I think. What do you guys think? Would you keep Sonku? Who would you drop, Sonku or Amati, if you're going to put Little Wes back in? Let me know your views on there. Phil Howard, Ross's dad, I think, says on the post, would have stopped the goal, I think. Yes, I think it would. That's what he's meant to be. Terry's saying Danny Amati is quickly becoming one of the best players. Terry, do you agree with me? Would if and when Little Wes comes in, would you put him in there? Let me know in that. Who is our defensive coach, says Bazza. Yes, it is Yaya Toure. It is Yaya Toure. It was a penno, says Nick. Handball is handball. Also didn't need retaking as Casper came out of his line before the ball struck. Nick, I tend to agree with what Nick is saying there. Keep getting your views in. Keep getting your comments in wherever you're watching. We are live tonight, 7:30 till 8 every Monday on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and now TikTok. Good, get me on TikTok. Check out if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook. Go on, get down with the kids and watch it. Get down with the kids. I sound such an old fudger. I really am. Little Wes on the bench Thursday, I reckon, says Phil Howard. Yeah, I'm with you. Please don't start him. I say, honestly, don't throw Little Wes back in. But would you? Let us know. Nick is watching from Detroit, US of A. Now, come on. Nick is in Detroit. Michael is in Seattle. Which is further away from Leicester? By my maths in my head, I think Detroit is further away. But hey, my USA geography isn't amazing. But let me know if I'm all right. Joe is watching on YouTube. All right, Joe? How do you reckon to this weekend's fixtures and the Rennes game? Everyone says Gray has big injuries this season, and let's move on. I agree, Gray. Let's absolutely move on. Nick says, don't rush Little Wes back, but drop Lord Farquhar when he's ready. Craig says he'd have a back three. Would you go with Craig in that? Sam Wallace on TikTok saying, what would be our best formation? I'm going to chuck that into what would be our best formation on Thursday. Would you put in there Little Wes or not? Thank you, Ross. You mean Colo Torre? I do. I said Yaya Torre. I tell you what, I'd like to know who is it. Maybe it is Colo Torre or Yaya Torre. I don't know who it is in there. Brian wants to shout out to Mark Albrighton. He's been putting in a good shift. I agree. I would. You know me. Mark Albrighton is one of my favourites. Listen, guys, don't forget, if you're watching on Facebook, do me the favour. If you want your comments on screen, which I can do from Facebook and YouTube, obviously, and Twitter, give us a like, give us a share. Go on, do it now. If you can do it, I can see everybody who's done a like and a share. And there's only a few of you tonight. Get your comments in. If you're on TikTok as well, give us a like. Appreciate that. Thank you for joining us for tonight. And if you want to watch it in full glory, if you're watching on TikTok, come and join us on Facebook or the YouTube channel. Michael says Seattle is further away. So does Alan. Thank you. Karen says drop Cags no matter what. I think Cags has been okay recently, but I just think I would keep Daniel Amati in there with little Wes. Terry's saying, and quite rightly, Brendan isn't blaming injuries. I agree, he isn't. Don't you just find us a boring side these days? Even when we win games, it's a painful watch. Where's the fast built-up gone? Oh, my gosh. As Ben... And now, everybody, I want you to take a minute to read Ben's comments. As what Ben said, I've got to be fair, has passed through my mind when I was watching us the other day. And yesterday, I only watched them on telly yesterday. I'm such a plastic fan, honestly. I didn't go yesterday. But do you agree with Ben? It was a bit boring yesterday. I hate to say it. And I've watched this a few times this season. I've thought, do you know what, Ben? Yesterday, the frustration was with 20 minutes to go, the subs made no difference. The subs made absolutely no difference to that match yesterday. James for Pereira, it's the same. Ndidi for Mendy, it's the same. Daka for Iheanacho, it's about the same. There was nothing. There was no change of nothing. So did I think with 20 minutes to go we were going to get back into the game? Not really, because we didn't do anything. The guy on the sidelines, who I'm still very, very much Brendan Rodgers in, but the guy on the sidelines who had the chance to mix things up, mixed nothing up. So with 10 minutes to go, did I think we would score and win it or get a draw? No, not really, because we didn't do anything different. It's like, I've said it many times, if you keep banging your head against the wall and you keep hurting yourself, if you keep doing it, you're going to keep hurting yourself. So when plan A yesterday was just not really very effective, keep doing it for 95 minutes, that 5 minutes of injury time. Did anybody at any point yesterday think we're going to get back into this? So Ben said it. Is it boring at times? I tell you what, it is, Ben. It is. There we go. Sean says, thanks, Sean, for watching. I'm getting a bit of a doldrums there. Sean says, I'd go for it Thursday, attack them, score, and they need to go 4 through them. Yeah, Sean is effectively saying at Rennes, let's get the goal out there. Let us know your views and comments on that. I'm laughing at Matty's comment here. Matty Bond says, Dullers spent majority of the second half on my phone, says Matty. I'm sorry, Matty. I sort of agree with you and Ben. It sort of was boring. And I know I'm a plastic fan for not going to the match yesterday. I watched it on telly. But I don't know. I feel sorry for fans who have to go that way. Just do something. Put Vestergaard up front. Put Soyuncu up front for 10 minutes. What? Honestly, I kid you not. Honestly, I know I'm old school. I'm retro. I'm Martin O'Neill. I'm Steve Walsh. I'm like Jerry Taggart, Matty Elliott. What the hell have you got wrong with, like, let's stick Soyuncu up there for 8 minutes at the end? Because I tell you what, you might think I've gone mad, but if you put Soyuncu up top for the last 8 or 10 minutes and said, go on, Albrighton, just launch it in there. Go on, just launch it. Shove it in their box. And Soyuncu, just chase it around. We probably wouldn't have scored. We probably would have still lost 2-0. But I tell you what, for the last 10 minutes, we would have signalled a bit like West Ham did when they came to Leicester, when they put Dawson up top. That's all they did. Come on, we might as well have a go. Have a go. Reedy went to the match yesterday and he says, sorry, no fight yesterday. And I'm backing Daka over Kelechi whilst Vardy out. Kelechi don't want to try. Oh, Reedy's opened a can of worms there because, again, I'm going to be a bit honest. I don't think Daka's all that. I'm happy to give him another season next year, and I'm happy to be proved wrong. I'd love to be proved wrong, but I don't see much from Daka at the moment. I see somebody who's 5-10 yards off the pace. When he gets the ball 20-30 yards out, I don't think he's going to do anything with it. If the ball pops in the box and sits up nice for him, I think he's a finisher there. I think he's a finisher, 8-10 yards out in the box. I think he can do that. I'm not seeing a lot else. I'm only being honest. That's just my views, but I want your views. What do you think in it as well? So much to talk about. I feel like I'm being a bit miserable. I'm not. I'm just like, definitely Brendan in. I'm very much looking forward to Rennes, but I am looking at yesterday and going, nah, subs, nah, plan B. There isn't one. There just wasn't one. I don't think Leicester fan base would survive if Vestergaard scored a 90-minute equaliser. Good old Reese. The fans would go absolutely mental. Just what did we have to lose? Stick Vesty up front for the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know. Ben is sort of calling it right there because Ben's saying if we don't go through on Thursday, does he look a bit of a muppet, a bit of a mug for what he did yesterday? Joe says he agrees with me about Daka. Again, if you're watching on TikTok, which I know quite a few of you are now, if you're watching on TikTok, give us a like, but let us know. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Joe here? Honestly, jury's well and truly out on Daka. I'm not in there for him at the moment. Hope I am proved wrong. Somebody said to me the other day, Daka's a bit like Musa. Showed a bit of promise, but fading fast. Jason saying, it's like Vardy comes on, we score and win. He ends up injured. We lose. So where the hell do we go from here? It's such a boring season. I almost think before the game we lost before it played. Do you agree with Jason in there? Rob Ross, thank you, watching on YouTube, saying, I fear that we'll lose. I can't believe I've just done that, Rob. Sorry, mate. Fear that we'll lose players in the summer. Keith saying, Daka good at reacting, but doesn't make anything happen. Keith, I'm gonna add to that. He says Daka's good at reacting. He's good at reacting, but he's always 5 or 10 metres away from where the ball is. He's good at reacting in the penalty box, maybe. Reece saying, don't disagree with you. We should try something unconventional every now and then. Every now and then. Try something different. I said it earlier, did anybody think yesterday that those subs made any impact on the game, or did we just carry on doing the same stuff? Andy saying, Nacho is stealing a living, had 3 years to impress. I just think Nacho's a pair of a double act, and he doesn't get played as a double act enough. I think sticking by himself, he needs more. Harry, hi Harry, hope you're well, says Daka is useless. Strong words, Harry. I'm not going to say he's useless, but I don't think he's all that at the moment. And again, people say he's young, give him a chance. I'm like, he cost us 30 million quid, mate. If he was young and come from Shepshed or Loughborough Dynamo or Fry Lane Old Boys, if he was young and like up and coming and cost us 58 pence and a bag of chips from Leicester Fisheries, or you know what I mean? If he was a young lad, a local lad coming up through the ranks, I say give him time. Give it, what do you expect? He cost us 30 million quid. How much time does somebody need to be good when you cost 30 million quid? Am I living in cuckoo land? I sort of expect 30 million quid to buy you a striker who actually can play football. How about that? Maybe. Let's not talk about Perez either. Subs were used very weird. Needs Lookman. Yeah, Lookman yesterday. Reedy says Lookman. Perez even. More attack. Do you agree with what he is? Archie Gillings, I'm not going to put your comment on there, but he's saying Daka's not very good. Liam on Twitter, not on Twitter, Liam on TikTok is saying Daka is good, but his first touch and his dribbling lets him down. The comments for TikTok are down here. Look, honestly, we've got such a setup tonight. But Liam is saying, I think he doesn't get near it. Honestly, against Rennes on Thursday, I don't think I saw. He barely touched it. I'd love to see his stats against Rennes. Matty doesn't mince his words. He says, hopefully Daka is adapting because Nacho is poor. I'll take that off screen. Swearing Matty. It's Matty. You're getting cross, mate. Nacho was a hero on Thursday, but he never seems to put two performances together, says Phil. Phil Howard. You've got a point. Nacho isn't consistent in there. Harry says we need a world-class winger. But Harry, every team needs a world-class winger. I'm not going to say Lookman is world-class, but I'm starting to think he might be worth signing. Starting to. Andrew says 30 million quid bought Slimani. I mean, Slimani was a donkey to a certain extent, but I'd still rather had him on the bench for a plan B in there. Nacho looks clueless up front. Seems like he doesn't know what he's meant to be doing. He will be be thrown out in the summer. Look at Vardy. We got him for peanuts. Now, look, we was robbed for 30 million from. He's talking about Daka there. That's Jason in there. Craig says here, we have been spoiled. We are having one of the best strikers in the Premier League. 100% you're on something, Craig. Look, Jamie Vardy has been immense. And to be fair, I'm going to do. I'm meeting with a legend tomorrow to make a little video, Steve Walsh. We are going to Pink Car Leasing, and we are going to be talking about Jamie Vardy because we've got one hell of a prize for you guys to win coming up. I shouldn't really say, you didn't hear it here, but if you put Jamie Vardy signed shirt framed that you guys are going to win, or one of you is, that is what the next prize is up. I'm meeting Walshy there tomorrow. Pink Car Leasing competition. Thanks to those guys. We'll get that going very soon. But listen, Vardy has been absolutely amazing, but we have got to think about replacing him, and I don't think it's Daka at the moment, because how much time do you want to give somebody? He's had a great season, Daka, to get involved because Vardy's been out for a lot of it. Alan says here, Arsenal were way better than us. We could put the whole squad on and lost. I think you might be right, Alan, but you've got to remember last season and the season before, we were better than Arsenal. So what has gone on in that 12 months? How have Arsenal got that far above us? I'm being honest, and some of you say, oh, Arsenal, they're a big old club. They should be up there. We've been top 4 for the past 2 seasons, apart from the last game. We've been better than Arsenal the past 2 seasons. We won the Premier League since Arsenal's won it. We've won the FA. Why this season could we not go to Arsenal and do a bit better? Steve saying you have to be a special kind of player to play up front. In there. Ross is saying, listen, we robbed Man United for 80 million, so we can't talk about Leicester being robbed. I agree, you win some, you lose some. But Ross, do you think we've been done on Daka? I'm not calling it yet. I'm going to say at the end of the season, but I'm not seeing a £30 million player there at the moment. I definitely am not seeing that. Danny says, thoughts on what will happen with Pratt? Seems like people have forgotten him. Danny's he's gone out on loan. I really like Dennis Pratt. I would have him at the club. I think he offers us something slightly different. I think he's defensively very good. I think he's attackingly good. I think he's a better midfield utility player. I think we end up with Tielemans and Maddison are very good going forward. And Ndidi and Mendy are very good defending. Hamza's pretty good at defending. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall's pretty good at attacking. I would have Dennis Pratt around, but he's not. He's gone. Honestly, he's not going to come back to Leicester. From what I've heard, it's not happening. And Diddy was unnecessary coming on for Mendy when Lookman was overlooked. Phil Howard again. I think you're right. Why? And Diddy for Mendy. It's not going to win you the game, is it? Let's be honest. And Diddy scores 1 or 2 long-range shots every 2 seasons, maybe 1 a season. He's not going to score you the goal, and he's not going to put the through ball through. Probably. And Diddy, he's going to defend. Yeah, that's all. And Diddy for Mendy. And to be fair, Ndidi nearly got injured at the end there. So it was a bit of a strange one. Carl is watching from Cyprus. We've got Michael from Seattle as the furthest person left. Talking of Michael, look, Jesus, show is negative. I tell you what, Michael, he's saying everyone having a go at the boys. Do you know what? I genuinely feel I'm not having a go at the Leicester players yesterday for playing. I guess, if I'm honest, Michael, it was boring to an extent, is one thing, and we lost. I never felt, Michael, and you can be honest, Michael, did you feel at any point in that game the subs we started to raise the level and have a go? Because that's my frustration with yesterday, is I don't feel like we really had a go at it and tried to win it back. I can take losing yesterday as long as we qualify on Thursday, says JJ in there. Ian is calling Brendan a bottler. I don't agree with that, but I can hear what you're saying, Ian, in there. Ross saying Arsenal have no European football, so their only focus is top four. I agree, which is going on in there. Why? Chester says, Chester Leicester, why are people hating on Daka? Seriously, give the guy a season and then judge. We're not replacing Vardy, end of, he's too good. I guess, Chester, my beef, if you want to call it that, my beef with Daka is we paid 30 million quid for him. So why do we have to give him a season? Because if you, Chester Leicester, if you played football and you went and joined a team, I think people, if you've come for 4 or 5 million and you're a bit of an, underdog, unknown, developing, he's not a developing player at £30 million. He should be hitting and flying in the Premier League in there. Anyway, listen, I'm going to get Jono on in a minute. So, Jono, if you're ready, I'm going to add Jono in. He's clicked and he's come through. Jono, hope you're well. Give us your views.
What, the Arsenal game?
Yeah.
Well, I predicted we'll lose 2-1, but we did worse than I thought we were going to do. But it was an okay performance. I agree with what Jamie said yesterday after the game. We played all right in some stages. In a moment in the first half, we were dominant, but we just take our chances and we're a bit dull. Most of the game were pretty dull. I agree we needed to spice things up. You can't bring on a like-for-like player if we're chasing again. You've got to bring on a different player to change up the formation or the tactics just to try and push for a goal to surprise them. But no, I disagree with everyone saying hating on Daka. I blame Brandon for it because he knows that formation. Everyone knows, the Leicester fans know that you can't stick one striker up front and it to work. Either play two strikers or not, or play Vardy as a solo.
Jono, Stephen says here, subs were not about changing the game but saving legs. He could well be onto a point there.
He could. We won our last 2 games, Leeds and Burnley, which pretty much we're now safe. We're not guaranteed.
We are safe. We are safe.
We're pretty much there, safe in the Premier League. So we have to chase. The last thing we can chase is to win the Conference League. So maybe that's where the players' heads are. Maybe that's where we should be. But it's not. It's for me. We need to be more pushing in the league as well because we can't just be like, oh, we came 16th for safe. But imagine being 4th or 5th last season to being 16th the next. It's not good enough. We need to be pushing mid-table as well as winning Conference League.
I agree. A few comments, Jono, and then we'll come back to you. Siu on YouTube saying, if we don't win Conference League and don't get top 6, a lot of players will leave for Champions League football and we could go back to our Puel roots. Yes, I agree, although I think that's a bit too much hate on Puel, but let's not get into that today. Craig saying, do you think Evans will come back next season? Or is he finished? I think he's certainly on age-wise. He's getting towards the end of his career. Alex saying 2 up front. Let's try it in there. Jono, obviously, there's a lot going to happen between now and Thursday, the Rennes match. There suddenly is massive pressure on there. That last-minute goal that Nacho got last week makes a massive difference.
Oh, massive. That was key. Rennes at home will be a different ball game because they're the second highest scorers in that league. Yes, there's not like a load of good teams in there, but the only team above them is PSG. That means there's 18 other teams behind them. So they've got to be doing something right, and at their ground, their fans will be loud. So getting that 2-goal advantage is important. And we can't just sit back and hold because we can't defend. Because when we did that against Spurs, we brought in Vestergaard and we bottled it. So we have to go on with force. And I want to see Iheanacho and Daka up front, 2 up front. With Barnes on the left or Brighton on the right, or Lutman on the right. He
won't do that.
Attacking forward.
He won't do that though, will he, Jono?
He should, because Brendan at the moment. Brendan's tactics are: if he just one striker with 2 wingers, we're losing a strike. We're playing with 10 men because that striker instantly becomes irrelevant.
He won't do it though, will he? He's so stubborn.
He's stubborn. Like, there's
I mean, yesterday, yesterday, I know you were around and doing, did you at any point yesterday with those subs think, oh, cool, we could do something now?
Well, when I looked at the subs, I'm like, we those are the subs you make when you're winning 2-0. Keeping the players fresh. You're winning 2-0. Just play like for like, because you go, right, we've won this game, or we're winning this game. Don't change tactics too much. We'll change the players. But when you're losing, you go, right, let's take off a defender and bring on a midfielder. Let's bring on Tielemans, another attacking midfielder. Let's bring on Lookman, or let's have four strikers, 3 defenders, or
Well, I mean, and did he for Mendes? Just
that's negative, because
James Justin for Ricardo Pereira.
Yeah,
it's not changing it up, is it? They're identical players. Yeah,
you're bringing on a depth player which you don't need to bring on. You need to bring on. I would have brought on Lookman for Ricardo and have another striker, or brought on Daka for they have 2 strikers, have 3 defenders.
Well, yes, like you say, he could have gone. He just could have lost somebody out of midfield a little bit and bypassed it a bit quicker and gone keeping wingers on and strikers, couldn't he? But
easily,
even at the 90th minute, I said earlier, Jono, I feel a very plastic fan yesterday. I didn't go. I watched it on the telly, and I genuinely was like, about 85 minutes, I might as well turn it off. 90 minutes, I'm like, we're not trying to attack or do anything.
Yeah.
At the 91st minute, with 4 minutes of injury time, we are just stroking it around the back still. And no wonder we had pretty decent possession stats.
If you look at the stats, you would think that it was we dominated, but we just lost, but we didn't. Like, we had more possession, we had more passes, but I think what he's done is he's come along and fixed the possession and how we hold the ball, but he hasn't fixed how we attack or defend. Because it was just not doing anything. It's dull.
Yeah, well, I think it was Rob earlier in the comments said he hates to say it, but it is boring. And I know Matty Bond said in the comments earlier, Matty said he started playing on his phone.
I remember ages and ages ago when I watched the I know that we're not in the Champions League, but when I watched the Chelsea Bayern Munich final in the Champions League, Chelsea were dominated by possession, everything. But when they had the ball, they made the best of it. And I'd rather have 10% possession and win by 1-0, because because we're holding the ball and doing nothing with it for most of the game. We're watching us hold the ball and do nothing, which is boring. It's like watching paint dry.
I'm afraid this is absolutely some of the trouble, isn't it, Jono? Because, like you say, if you look at the league table at the moment, which I know we've got a couple of games in hand on some teams, maybe 2, maybe 3 on some, but we are currently in 12th place. I know if we were to win with the 1 or 2 games in hand, we would go up a little bit, but effectively, we wouldn't go above 9th. That's where, if we won all 3 games in hand, we would go 9th. But some of those Villa above us have got a game in hand on some of the others. So
yeah,
it with whatever anybody wants to say about this season, it's categorically way down on last year.
It is, but
with the same players, and in fact extra players.
That is true. However, every team has an off season. When we won the Premier League, where were Chelsea?
Well, below us.
They were 10th.
Yeah.
Yes, we're having an off season where there are a lot of things we need to improve on, like set pieces and stuff like that. But why are 3 players who last season were dominating, like Ricardo Pereira, Justin, and what was we signed a new deal with? Fofana, they've dealt in long-term contracts. I feel that there's a plan in place for next season where I think we're going to sign new players and change tactics, which I think will work. I think I'm being positive for next season, because I think the season's pretty much over apart from the Conference League now.
Brilliant, Jono. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to let you go. Thanks so much, Jono, for that.
In a bit.
Great views from Jono. Join him. He's often on the watch-along, so I'm not sure who's doing the watch-along this Thursday. Is it you, Jono? He doesn't. No, he's saying he can't. He's got to do work. Listen. Thanks for everybody watching. Last couple of comments in. Mahad says, Mahad, we need to get you on again, mate, soon. Said Mendy actually looked better than Chowdhury. Do you know what? I thought Mendy played ever so well the last couple of games. Albrighton was all right, but he comes too deep, which is an interesting one. Do you think new players could have caused the team's chemistry to be destroyed? Won the FA Cup, a few players have joined in different positions, and it just looks like the style of play is gone. I don't think we had a good summer of transfers, if I'm honest. I've been honest. I don't. Daka and Sumeri, not convinced, and Vestergaard and Bertrand definitely were not good buys. In all honesty, is the state-of-the-art training facility really working? Says Rob. It doesn't seem like it because we're getting more injuries than ever. Where's the money coming from for those signings, Nick? Come on, Nick. You know where the money's coming from. Do you want me to say it? You know we're going to sell a couple of players this summer. The choice is going to be which one or two is going. What, 60 million for Tielemans, 55 for Maddison. There's your 100 million. That's my take on it. Anyway, that's what I think is going to happen. Who knows? Listen, wow, what a week. Thanks for everybody for joining us. We are live on... Keith, if you want to play that, if you want to go there, we'll play it. If you're around, obviously, all the Leicester fans who are going to Rennes this week. Sadly, I am not going because I've got work and I couldn't find a better way than 3 or 4 days and on a ferry to get there. If you go to Rennes, have a great time. It's a lovely part of the world, so enjoy it and behave, obviously. Cheer the lads on very loud indeed. If you're watching it on TV, at home, down the pub, wherever you are, enjoy it. Join Leicester Fan TV for the watch-along at on Thursday. I think we'll be live for about 5:15 on Thursday. But Wednesday night, 7:30, Jack. Leicester Fan TV's Jack is live at 7:30. So get your views into Jack on Wednesday. Reedy is live on Friday at 7:30. So you can talk about all the Rennes match. Hopefully we're qualified for that and more. Jamie with the famous Fox's Aftermath show is on Sunday at 10 a.m. And then Sunday, well, I'll see you down at the King Power Stadium. And obviously we'll be doing the watch along in... for those people who can't get down there. You ain't getting that for Yuri, says All Matters, says Nick. I think we would. I think 60 and 55, I think that's about right. Ross is saying our players have to turn up on Thursday. Otherwise, we'll have the most views for the wrong reasons. I agree. Listen, I just hope we're going to win it. By the sounds of it, we sold 2 or 3 players already with us having 200 million. Yes, Craig, I think it's done. I think a lot of the deals are already done. I honestly do. And I think you can see that with how some of the players are playing. They look like some of them don't want to get injured, don't want to mess up a big summer transfer. It's just my views. Honestly, I'm just a fan like you. So it doesn't matter what I think, but it does matter what you guys think. Whew. Can't wait for this week. Come on. Never thought I'd get so excited about the Europa Conference League, but really looking forward to it on Thursday. Thanks for everybody for all your views, all your comments. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV, wherever you are. Thanks for these guys. Don't forget, tomorrow I'm going to be down at Pink Car Leasing with the legend that is Walshy, talking about another legend that is Jamie Vardy. Signed shirt. Jamie Vardy signed shirt. Thanks to Pink Car Leasing. You'd want to win that, wouldn't you? See you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.